If you are doing a self-build camper van motorhome, you need to insulate your van. Do not make the same mistake as I see so many people make, using rock wool, household insulation. No good. This is what you need. So, stage one, dodo mat sound deadening. That's going in first. She goes. Stage two, dodo mat thermal liner. And then final stage is dodo mat thermal fleece. Right, now we're in the van. We've got these. So the sheet sizes on these are 400 by 250. So they're a really useful size, not having loads of cutting. And another good tip, is if your van has been a builder's van, you definitely want to use something probably like this, just tar and glue remover. I don't know if you can see that. And what that will do is basically just make sure everything's nice and clean, and then you're making sure that this stuff is going to stick to your metalwork. So again, just do that everywhere before you start sticking this, because if this comes off, you're going to waste a ton of money. So just check with your tape where they're going to fit. 260, 260, so they're all the same. So basically, in a camper van, I'd recommend you use this 100% everywhere, because you just don't want any rattling. It also acts as a vapour barrier because it's got a bitumen back to it, so once that's stuck to that, no moisture can build up between this panel and this. So self-adhesive, absolutely easy to use. And all you're doing, just watch when you're using this because it's super sharp as well. So just give it a little rub around your edges. Get yourself a nice little roller and just roll that panel in place. Easy. Next one. It's that easy, your kids can do it. So it's not rocket science. You don't need to get too confused by it. Probably should wear gloves as well, because this is proper sharp stuff, and it'll cut you. So 220, then we're just going to give that, we're just cutting a tiny little strip off this. So all you need for that, so all you need to cut it, sharp Stanley knife, straight edge. Run your knife down it a couple of times. And then don't throw them bits away, keep them because you might need them. You don't want to watch me do that. So basically, that's basically what it needs to look like on this side. I'll show you this, and then we'll come back to the next stage in a minute. But there, that's pretty much what you're looking at. So these are the panels we've just been looking at there, the ones I've just showed you what to do. I've not finished it yet because it's too boring for the film and you'll fall asleep. This side here is, I've done the down bit, the middle bit should I say. I've not done anything with the top yet, but that's going to get done. So this is going to be a kitchen showroom. So I haven't covered these because no one's living in this van. No one's going to spend any time on an evening in it. It's just basically to keep it quiet and keep it dry. When we build motorhomes, these always get covered. Dodo Mat recommend 80% coverage with this. I do 100% wherever I can, just to be safe. It's just good practice. And then the roof, if you can see, that's had stage 1 and stage 2 already done. It takes a long time, but it looks the job is right. So basically, these timbers that we've put in here, you can see them, that and that, and these, they're just to bridge this headlining in the middle because it's too big a gap, and your headlining will sag. After you've done stage 1, tape all your joints. Stage 2 goes over the top, and then this just is a stage 1. So this covering these struts is just the Dodo sound deadening, and it's rolled on, so it's proper tight. It ain't going nowhere, stops any moisture, and it acts as a vapor barrier as well. If you can see, that one's not been done, the two front ones, so I'll show you how to do that when I've finished these, and then we'll start stage 2. The useful tip, if you notice, I've still got this factory floor down. It's just easier to work off. I'm going to get all this top insulated. I'm going to get all these walls done right down to here. Then once these are done, and over on this side as well, I'll then whip this floor out, and then I'll do the bottom half, and I'll do the floor. You take this out straight away and you've got ridges and ripples everywhere, and you're on your hands and knees. It's so uncomfortable. So little tip, get everything above done, get all this done down here, get your walls done, get this done, and you've got a nice flat surface to work on. You can put yourself a workbench in, just loads easier. Save your hands and knees from being crippled from rolling around on big metal struts. So a little tip for today. Right, these are ready now for stage 2. So I've covered all these panels inside. Again, I've told you why I'm leaving these out. So yeah, this is ready now for stage 2, which is the Dodo Mat thermo liner. So let's go and have a look how we cut that. Stage 2, Dodo Mat thermo liner. This is only 6mm because he bought it himself as this, but if you're doing your camper van, you want minimum 10mm. Easy to cut. I need to go measure it first. So I'm just going to cut this off at 1200 to make it easier. So 1200. Fold this corner up here, look. Hold that up. 1200 here. 1200. Straight edge. Stand the knife. Uh, 720. 720. Again, this stuff's self-adhesive. Just got to peel this. Yeah. The reason I've cut this down to 1200 is otherwise, if you try to cut that whole piece there, you'll never get it in. Especially if you're on your own, you'd be like this all over the shop. So yeah, just cut it into pieces that you can manage. That's how to use this. Work smart, not hard. And basically, you want to make sure this top edge is lined up here. Back press. Rub it into all these contours. Like that. Use your roller if you want. Just use your hands because it's quicker. Ready for stage 3 now. Get this gear in. Before we do, I'll just show you what we've got inside. All that's been done. Ready for this thermo fleece next. So yeah, just a couple of things to do, probably tape up a couple of joints, but yeah, we'll get doing that done now. Right, so last job to do, got a joint now, look, see that, probably don't need to do it, we just do it. I use this stuff, aluminium silver tape, buy from Screwfix, not sponsored by Screwfix, but I'm not sponsored by anybody, unfortunately. But just do this, good practice. Stops any moisture getting in or getting out. Sorry, this is a boring video, but it's very hard to make insulating as I'm excited. Unless I did it in speedos and you don't want to watch that. Right. So all taped up along there. Roof's not done fully yet, but not far off. So yeah, that's ready for stage 3. Right, stage 3. Dodo thermo fleece. No standard knife this time. Basically, we cut this time it's not self-adhesive, so you need to either use spray adhesive, so I've got, you can use spray for carpet, just like contact adhesive, so this is, you don't need to spray loads of it on, you get a quick lick of that, take it in the van. So now we've got this in the van, what we're going to do is give this a spray, same as that, both sides. And the side that you've sprayed there, literally wait till it to go off a little bit so it's dry to touch, and then just stick it on everywhere. All you're going to do is just repeat this process all over. So I'll get a little bit done now and I'll show you how it's done. Morning. So stage 1, 2 and 3 have all been finished inside this van now, apart from the floor. So we've got thermo fleece in these walls here, it's tucked all into these cavities here. This roof I've just had stage 1 and 2. I aren't putting stage 3 onto that because it's having LED downlights going down here, so you probably don't need it. No one's living in it. If there were, I would just put stage 3 in between these panels here, so it's nice and flush, so it doesn't start to bulge your headlining down like that. Cables, starting to get some wires in here, look. They're all into a ducting that you just put in, rather than putting it through any bare metal. It just means that any cables running through there, they're going to catch and probably wear this insulation off. You'll end up with an electrical filter. So everything you run in, put it into this stuff. Look. 25mm flexible conduit, buy it from Screwfix, anywhere else. City Electrical Factors, anywhere, any electrical wholesaler, you can get that. So next is going to be floor. So another thing that I see loads of people doing, to get a jet wash inside the van, blast the floor. The worst idea ever. You've got underneath here, look at all these. This here, look. All your internal electrical cables are all running through this van. This van isn't designed to get wet inside. Outside, fine. Do not jet wash your floor. You won't notice it yet, but all your electrical components underneath here will get soaking with water, and eventually they will corrode. Might be 12 months, might be 2 years, but it ain't gonna last if you're jet washing it from inside. So the best way to do it, give it a sweep out, normal brush. So just sweep in between all this, get rid of all this thick dirt and dust with a normal brush. Get it all out. Hoover all this bit up then. Give that a good hoover, and then again we want to be using this stuff or something similar. So that's the tar and glue remover that I mentioned to you. See that? Basically then all you need to do is in between, get a microfiber cloth, soak it in between all these ribs in your floor, all around that bit. We're just going to wipe and clean all this floor now, and then what it will do, it'll make this from a dusty. So put that down, get rid of all the dust, and it means that when you're bonding your strips in, which I'll show you in the next video, they're going to stick to this, and then we're not putting any screws through this van floor, none whatsoever. No holes, no water can get in, everything gets bonded in. So yeah, we'll cover that in the next video, but basically everything that's in here now is ready for electrical work doing. Some people think that they put their electrical work in first. The reason we don't do it is because there's that much insulation in here now. If you buried all these cables, you bury all this, it's just going to make it warmer. Plus, if you ever have to pull anything through, you'll never find it. So insulate first, and then basically you want to be putting this 25mm flexible conduit in and run your cables through that. You can see it all, you know that you're not going to hit it with a screw, just future proofing yourself basically. So yeah, so we'll get on with cleaning this floor out, and then in the next video we'll discuss how to insulate, soundproof your floor. So that's the only thing that's not been done as yet. But yeah, stick to those rules. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. This is perfect for any situation, camper van, motorhome, whatever you're going to use it as. Yeah, you will not go wrong, and I'll explain why in another video. why should you listen to what I say about insulating your van? So I've had 19 years experience. I've been building camper vans since 2006. I've probably built over 100 transporters, a handful of crafters, a handful of sprinters, some Nissan Interstars, and we did a van probably in about 2012, and it was a medium wheelbase, no, it was a short wheelbase transporter, and we've used this insulation system since probably 2008 maybe. So we did this van. The guys had it for God knows how many years. About 6 years he had it, and we got a phone call from an insurance company, and to cut a long story short, someone had crashed into him down the side where the kitchen is, so not this side, down there. And the insurance company knew that it had our stickers on the back, so the insurance company contacted us and said, can you remove all the furniture and get everything prepared so it can go to the body shop for painting. We converted the van 6 years prior to this, so we took the van in, stripped it bare, took all the insulation out, and the van was the same as the day we did it. So there were no rust, no condensation, no issues, no nothing. It was perfect. So that's a van that's been done 6 years ago in all conditions, used on a weekly basis. I think it was a good test basically, because we knew that when we took the van to pieces, it was just as it was when we did it. So the insulation system that we've been using since 2008, we still use today, and that's the same system that I've just shown you. There's other ways to do it, and I'm sure there'll be other people who'll say, oh, we do it like this, we do it like that. Probably not a problem. I'm just saying the system that I've showed you how to do is basically tried and tested. Another useful tip, if you don't know how much insulation you're going to need, just a quick way to figure it all out basically. And this is so you measure in, let's say for instance you've got, well we know how much we need to cover. We've got 2 walls and a ceiling. So measure the height of the wall. So we've got 2 meters. And the length of the wall is 4 meters. So 4 times 2 is 8. So we've got 8 square meters on this wall. So that's 8 square meters. So when you look on the box, it will tell you how much square meterage it gives you. So just divide it by that, or times it by that. So, and then for your floor, you're not going to need all 3 stages. All we do with this floor now, when it comes to insulating it, is we sound deaden in between where we're going to bond our strips, which carries our top floor. So we're going to bond some 12mm ply in between all these strips, go through the top ply into that. And then we just run insulation in between that. Some people do put Slater's lat down, 2B1 battens, then they put 25mm Kingspan in there. It's probably alright doing that, but I don't have the height. I'm 6'2", so that's something you're going to need to bear in mind when you are doing it. You won't be able to build this floor up by 50mm if you're lanky like me. You'll be banging your head, which will be a disaster. So yeah, for me, I can only get away with a 12mm floor on top of this. So 12mm packers, which is ply, and then a 12mm floor on top of that, which 12mm floor will sit on top of the ridges in your floor. And then once you've got your headlining in, I'm pretty close to that. So yeah, just bear that in mind when you come in to do your floor. So I will show you now how to do the floor the way that we do it. Right, so that floor's nice and clean now, just using that. It's probably taken me 20 minutes. And the good thing about using that is that floor's ready to do now. I'm not going to have to wait 4 days for the van floor to dry out because the jet washed it and ruined all the electrics. So 20 minutes to do it and it's instantly ready, so that can start having some stuff bonded to it now. So let's go and have a look. So yeah, there we go. That van floor now is literally, because it's got the alcohol in the tar and glue remover, it dries pretty much instantly. So all you need to do now, just give that a quick wipe over, with another microfiber cloth just to get rid of any residue, and that will literally, you can just bond straight to that now. It's had a few battle scars, a few knocks, so we'll just bridge them instead of trying to straighten it out, and we're not messing about with the original van floor then. But yeah, that is pretty much sound. That's good to go. So yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut some ply, and in between all these strips now, which is in between these strips, wherever we can get it, like in there, one in there, one there, one there, and we'll get one there and one here, full length of the van, so all the way down in between these ripples. Yeah, and then that then will take our top surface of ply, which is going to be 10x5 12mm birch plywood, which is floor grade. So that means when you're bonding your floor to that, it's super strong. So yeah, we will do that in the next video, but other than that, that is good to go. Right, so these are the 12mm ply that we are cutting down, just so they fit inside between this point and this point here, not this point. And if you notice, they've got like the chamfered, so you want to be doing it right at this bottom edge, so it sits nice and flat like that. Yeah, and then these are all loose at the minute, so what we're going to do now is basically bond these in place. So leave them all loose as we have done here, take them up one by one and glue them down, and then you don't get confused as to which piece of timber is going where. And then all we're doing, once these are nice, stuck down nice and flat, we're fixing into these, not the floor. So you're going to put no holes in this floor, and we're going to insulate in between all of this. So we'll start sticking some down now. It down, you can either use Sikaflex, which is expensive, it's about 15 quid a tube, or this stuff, OB1. We use the black, whichever you do, because it's instant grab, so it's just loads easier, no movement. And then yeah, we just want to be putting straight around the edge. Taking this inside. And then you just need to make sure when it goes down, it stays. Give it a little bit of a smudge around. That's it. Once that's gone off, that will not move anywhere. So this is the piece we've just bonded in. We've just got to repeat this process now throughout all that floor there. So just pick it up one by one, so we know that we're doing the right piece and we're not going to get this mixed up, because they're all different sizes. So yeah, all across that. Pick one up, take it to the bench, bond it, or you can do it in the van if you want. That'll go off in 24 hours, ready for your subfloor. So yeah, it's a nice and easy job. And then we'll just insulate in between all that. So yeah, next job. So we've got the pieces of timber now bonded in to our floor. We've got a bit of sound deadening in between them, so that's kind of ready now for your top piece of insulation. If you wanted to put 25mm battens down and kingspan, that's entirely up to you, but again, like I said, I don't have that height to do that. So yeah, this is how we do it in normal camper van, so I'll show you this. So all these are bonded down now in between. Got a little bit of sound deadening in between these, and then next step now is we're going to put our top layer of insulation on top of this, so we'll get into that next. Insulation for our floor, we're going to use this, which is basically what you use for garage doors, or inside a loft. So you put it in between your rafters or over your rafters. So it's quite expensive this though, but it does the job. So if you don't have the height, that's a sacrifice you're going to have to pay. I'll show you how to do that now. So, yeah, let's go. So we've rolled this out now. We're just going to cut this to length with a Stanley knife, or roughly to length. Right, what I'm going to do with this, because this sheet of insulation is 1200 wide and I'm getting a 10x5 sheet applied for my floor, so the joint in the plywood is going to be this side, so I'm going to have the joint in my insulation on this side, if that makes sense, so you don't have two joints underneath each other. And then to cut round your arches, put your insulation up to your wheel arch here, and I need to cut 200mm plus 50mm to turn up the walls, so 250. Put a cut there, 250. Cut there, 250. And then we're just cutting down here up to your mark that you've just done. There. Fold that back, and then we're going to slide that insulation up there. Another note is if this were a camper van, these wheel arches would get sounded, and this isn't going to be. We've got wheel arch liners to go on this, but yeah, you'll just do stage one. So let's push this up over there now, and we'll get the next piece in. Get your knife in there nice and tight, make a mark where you need to cut. Cut that off. And then any little kinks or little pillows you need to cut, just purely bring your knife up. Nice. I'm going to use this because I've lost my Stanley knife that I've had for 15 years, so I'm absolutely wounded. So the first piece of insulation's in there on the floor now, and if you don't want to waste, if you now use this bit and turn it round that way, and then you run that all the way down there, you're going to end up with a tiny little cut, an off cut of insulation that you're not going to really use for much. So you can turn it this way and then just cut what you need off there. So I'll show you that now. Roll your insulation out onto that side there, and we're just going to cut. And then what we'll do, we'll just tape these joints up there then, all across there, get his next piece in, and do the same all the way back down. Right, so we're cutting his insulation now into sections sort of this size. So all we're doing next is line it up into this corner. Use the same tape as you used for your insulation, double-sided, or foil tape, should I say. Not double-sided. And then all we're doing is taping these joints up. Get a bit in this corner, here. Piece there. And then rather than trying to do this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit, put a piece at each end so it holds it in place. And then we're just going to finish this all the way down there then. Kind of then is the final stage of your insulation then. And I bet you'll be absolutely thrilled because it's one of the worst boring jobs of your entire conversion. We're going to tape these joints up running across this way. And another useful tip, ideally you want to have your floor template, as in your 12mm ply, already cut to shape before you do this. Because if you're trying to get your plywood in and out of your van with this stuff on the floor, you'll tear it, you'll punch your holes into it, and you'll end up having to patch it all up with this stuff. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting for my plywood to be delivered. It should have been here at 7:30 this morning, and it's 2:30 and now, and it's still not turned up. So I'm going to struggle. But yeah, you definitely want your floor template cut. I'm just ready to go straight in now on top of all this. And then these pieces here, I've had to retire my extremely bad Stanley knife. I'm back on the scissors. So sit down there, fold out to your wall there, and then these bits, push it down. That's it. That folds in there then. So all that we've got left to do now is the little bit that this camera's sat on, and then that's it, job done. So I'll show you that bit left. And then what you should be left with then is all like that. And what we'll do, tape this all around your edges then, everywhere, and then that is it. Insulation complete. Right, so the floor's all done now. Got all these joints taped up. I should tape it up all around the edges, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this all out. I'm going to roll it all up because I don't want to try and fit my floor when this is in, otherwise I'll tear it. So I'm going to get my floor so it's fitting, take the floor back out, relay this, and then put my floor on top of it. But if I'm taking my 12mm floor in, out, every time I try and cut it back in to measure it, I'm just going to end up destroying this floor. So basically, this wants to go down, and then your floor wants to go right on top of this. You don't want to be really walking around all over it and putting holes in it. And then once you've done that, then tape all your joints up, or you can put your floor down and tape up around the edge of your floor, and it just seals it. So yeah, the only thing I haven't done, which I said that I'd show you how to do, is these beams, and I've left one there, so there's this one left to do. So I'll show you how to do that, and then that is it. Insulation is wrapped up and finished. As I mentioned before, these beams just get stage 1, and what we've done is we've just cut a full sheet straight down the middle to this size. So, and that'll be the same for any beam, size beam that you're doing. So peeling it off, line it up in the middle, and then using your roller, roll that. That is super tight, is that's never coming off. So I'm just repeating that process from there all the way back to there. So useful little tip is the middle of the sheet, get your thumb central and your thumb in the middle like that, and then when you're holding it up, put your thumb in the middle of that beam, and you know you're going to have equal coverage on each side like this. Thumb there, thumb there. Degrees today. I am red up. And then you just end it with this then. So if you are at this stage, you will finish your insulation. Apart from your wheel arches, which you would put the sound deadening on, which is the stage 1. This is going to be a kitchen showroom, so we've got some fancy wheel arches going on there, so this isn't having it. But yeah, you are pretty much there if you are at this stage, and then your next stage is going to be your floor. So yeah, well done. Insulation finished, the worst and by far the most boring job of your conversion, but bye, you'll be glad you've got this part right, because you'll never have to see this again. So yeah, well done.